In November 2018, an auctioneer in Indio, California, sold an abandoned storage locker for $500. Inside was a safe. Inside the safe was $7.5 million in cash. That auctioneer was Dan Dotson, the man from Storage Wars, and that story is 100% true. It's also the most misleading true story in America, because today we're covering how to actually acquire abandoned storage units. And the first thing you need to know is that the show that made this famous was, according to its own star, staged. Here's the receipt. In 2012, Storage Wars cast member Dave Hester sued the network, claiming producers planted valuables in lockers, a BMW Mini, vintage Elvis newspapers, and staged entire units for the cameras. And the physics agree with the lawsuit, because the real numbers look nothing like television. The average winning bid at an American storage auction is around $300. Auctions recover only about 39% of the rent actually owed, which means the storage facility usually loses money running them. It's a legal cleanup process, not a treasure market. And a typical facility auctions may be 1 to 4 units a month, with delinquent tenants allowed to stop the sale right up until the gavel by simply paying their bill. So what is this business really? A recycling operation with occasional fireworks, run under state lien statutes with strict clocks, notices published, waiting periods observed, sales conducted publicly, every step scripted by law because the facility is selling someone else's property to recover unpaid rent. The market lives online now. Storage Treasures, the dominant platform, covers more than 18,000 facilities and lists tens of thousands of auctions every month. You bid from a handful of photos taken at the doorway, because that's the law. Lien rules let you look from the door, never enter, never open a box. You're buying a photograph and a hunch, and the platform collects its cut either way, which should tell you who reliably makes money in this market. The marketplace, the facility clearing its problem, and the disciplined few. Now Max's honest unit. He wins a 10 by 10 for $400 because the photos show a sectional, a bedroom set, and tool cases. Then the cost stack begins. A buyer's premium of 10 to 15%, sales tax unless he's filed a resale certificate, a cleaning deposit up front, and the rule almost nobody prices in. The unit must be broom clean within about 48 hours or the deposit is gone. Add the truck and the dump run, because roughly a third of every unit is trash and the landfill charges for mattresses, and Max is all in around $650 before he sold a fork. Over the next few weeks, the furniture brings a couple hundred on Marketplace, the tools another 200 or 300 on eBay, the household stuff maybe 150. Gross recovery on a decent average unit, $650 to $800, which means the profit is $100 and change for 15 or 20 hours of hauling, photographing, and meeting strangers in parking lots. Priced honestly, a careless flipper is working for less than minimum wage. So why does anyone do this? Because the professionals play a completely different game, and it has 3 rules. Rule 1. Selection. Pros pass on almost everything, bid only when the doorway photos show anchor items they can price, and comp those anchors against eBay-sold listings before bidding $1. The discipline is simple. Never pay more than about a third of what you can verify from the door. Rule 2. The paperwork edge. A resale certificate kills the sales tax, a niche specialty. Tools, records, instruments, sneakers kills the guesswork, and a booth or an online store turns each unit into inventory instead of a garage filling problem. Rule 3. Volume. 1 unit is a gamble. 40 units a year with disciplined bidding is a real side business. Because the occasional loaded locker, the estate cleanout, the contractor's abandoned tools, pays for 10 duds. The people who last also build relationships with facility managers, because managers know which delinquent units belong to hoarders and which belong to a cabinet shop that went under owing 3 months' rent. And yes, the fireworks are real, occasionally. The James Bond submarine car from The Spy Who Loved Me was bought blind at a Long Island storage auction in 1989 for about $100 and sold at auction in 2013 for nearly $1 million. But hear the counterweight. When a buyer found Nicolas Cage's stolen $1 million Superman comic in a locker in 2011, he didn't get to keep it because stolen goods go back, and personal documents, photos, and legal papers must typically be returned to the facility. The law sells you the stuff, not the story with it. And that $7.5 million safe? The former owner's lawyers came calling immediately, and the buyer ended up negotiating a settlement rather than keeping it all. Even the jackpot comes with paperwork. The failure mode is always the same, and it's worth naming: overpaying for furniture photographed from 10 feet away. That $700 furniture unit spent 18 months unclimatized. The mice found the sectional before you did. The particle board bedroom set crumbles in the truck, and you've paid over $800 with fees for a mandatory dump run and a lost weekend. The photos show shapes. They do not show smell. So here's the abandoned locker playbook. Get the resale certificate before your first bid. Bid only on anchors you can comp at a third of verified value. Assume the trash, the tax, the premium, and the 48-hour clock in every single number. Build the resale channel before you build the pile, and treat television as what it legally was: entertainment, allegedly with props. Storage auctions are not a treasure hunt. They're a disciplined business where boring buyers quietly compound, and where once in a very long while, the safe really is in the back. This is Acquisition Insider, showing you how the machine really works. Subscribe.